The idea of artificial intelligence is not as new as you might think. It did not begin with silicon chips or glowing computer screens. The dream is ancient. It started with myths and stories. People imagined statues that could walk. People imagined statues that could talk. They told tales of mechanical beings created to serve. They told tales of mechanical beings created to protect. These were not scientific theories. They were expressions of a deep human curiosity. We have always wondered what makes us intelligent, and we have always wondered if we could build something that shares that same spark of thought. This fascination with creating artificial life is a thread that runs through centuries of human history, long before the first circuit was ever designed. This age-old dream began to take a more concrete shape long before the 20th century. Thinkers and inventors started designing machines to perform tasks associated with human intellect. In the 19th century, Charles Babbage designed the analytical engine. This mechanical computer could be programmed with punched cards. The arrival of the electronic age brought these dreams into the realm of possibility. No one embodied this transition more than Alan Turing. He was a British mathematician and a true visionary. During World War II, his work cracking the German Enigma code was crucial for the Allies, but his mind was also focused on a much broader horizon. He wasn't just thinking about what computers could do, he was thinking about what they could become. Turing envisioned a universal machine. It would be a single computer capable of performing any task as long as you could describe that task in a program. This revolutionary concept underpins every modern computer. Turing's most famous contribution to AI came in a 1950 paper. He asked a simple but profound question. Can machines think? He called it the imitation game. Today we call it the Turing test. If the judge cannot reliably tell which is which, the machine has passed. The ideas of Turing and others were floating in the air of university labs and research centers, but they needed a focal point. They needed a moment to come together and form a new, distinct field of science. That moment arrived in the summer of 1956. A small group of brilliant minds gathered for a workshop at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. The event was organized by a young mathematics professor named John McCarthy. He wanted to bring together everyone working on this new frontier of thinking machines. He believed a collective effort could lead to a major breakthrough. McCarthy coined the name for this new field. He called it artificial intelligence. He chose the name carefully to set it apart from cybernetics and control systems. McCarthy's term was broader and more ambitious. The Dartmouth Group was a hall of fame of early computing. Marvin Minsky, Claude Shannon. The real achievement was building a community. It was the starting gun for a race to build intelligent machines. Following the Dartmouth conference, the pioneers of AI began to turn their bold ideas into actual code. John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, MIT, Stanford. He invented Lisp. Lisp was designed to manipulate symbols and ideas, not just numbers. Lisp became the primary language of AI research for many years. Marvin Minsky at MIT was a different kind of genius. He studied how the mind was structured. He believed intelligence wasn't one single thing. He proposed the idea of a society of mind. Intelligence emerges from many small, simple agents. It was called the golden age of AI. Logic theorist Alan Newell. It proved theorems chess programs, initially weak. The initial optimism of the 1960s eventually met with reality. But the real world was messy and complex. The field went through periods known as AI winters, when funding dried up and many people became skeptical. However, the core ideas never disappeared. The field split into different approaches. Symbolic logic, the path of McCarthy, neural networks, inspired by the structure of the brain, a path Minsky had explored. But the theory was kept alive by new researchers. That resurgence came with the exponential growth of computing power and the explosion of data known as big data. Suddenly, the computational power to train large neural networks was available, and deep learning emerged. And the neural network would learn the patterns on its own. When you talk to a voice assistant on your phone, when a streaming service recommends a movie, but it shows how a powerful idea, nurtured by a few brilliant innovators, can grow to change the world in ways they could only have dreamed of. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you learned something new.